Welcome back to Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast. This is your host, Hatch, with my boy. It's in the building.
Other host is in the building. You know, we got a show with two hosts. We don't have a co-host. We have two hosts.
Two host to host. We got the hostess with the mostest.
Yeah. Get your popcorn ready. We got Andre Reed in the building.
Hall of Famer Andre Reed in the building.
Yeah, I apologize. Let me properly introduce you.
Already.
Okay.
Put some respect on it.
There you go.
Andre Reed.
Hatch, did you hear that?
Building.
I'm the one that said it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I just want to
you are in the Hall of Fame for Jerry curls.
Wow, shots fired.
So this is what y'all gotta understand.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey,
man, get some popcorn ready.
Y'all gotta get y'all popcorn ready for this because
I'm gonna tell you this right
really
now.
like the clown. Like me and Dre, we go way
All
back.
day.
Me and T, we go way back. We've all known each other, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff on this episode that y'all might not understand because they're kind of some inside jokes.
Yeah,
but it's funny. Trust me.
Yeah, it's funny, but it ain't funny. But I like the fact that he's been to more Super Bowls than us.
Them put together.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got the same amount of rings.
Zero. But you know what? You know what?
You're talking about shots fired.
You don't realize how envious people people are so envious of that now as years go on and on. They are more envious of that than they ever been in the last 25 years. When I first came out, they were like, oh, y'all went to 4 and didn't win. Okay, what were you doing? You were watching me.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it.
You had popcorn and Cheetos and
wine
Cokes
and cheese and all
drinking
that
your
type
beer.
of stuff.
You were watching me. Say, man, I'd love to be out there.
Right.
So I when that was such a big thing, I had to flip the script a little bit on them.
Mm-hmm.
So did it take you a little wisdom as you got older to try to flip the script, or did it really eat at you?
It ate at me. It did, because that's what we play the game for. You guys know we play the game to win championships and go to the Super Bowl. It's now it's what, 18 weeks.
Yeah.
Before 16 weeks, but them extra 2 weeks are a bear for these guys. But you work all year just to get to that game, and the ups and downs of a season, and we all been through that. One game, this can derail all that.
Well, me and you, we've been through that a lot.
Yes,
What
we
you
have.
talking about?
Yes, we have.
Oh, I didn't know you was here. I didn't know, my bad. I didn't know you was here. My bad. Yeah.
I didn't know if I should bring clown outfit or not.
We already got one clown
here.
Right here.
We got a clown,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah.
Two clowns in here. You two.
But that's what these guys should be playing for. But we know it's a different guy. A different guy's in the league now. Different. They
Can you
think
relate
differently.
to these youngsters now? Do you relate?
You know what?
at all?
That's a good question, Hatch.
You're around it a lot more now than you were even 10 years ago.
Yeah,
But are you relating to the players now more?
I really don't look into it, but you could just tell little certain things that they do and how they say things and all that. It's just they're different players.
Does it sound
different.
like they are coming off like they're better than
Of course.
you?
Of course, in their own way.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
In their own way.
That's kind of like the mantra of this show is like, you think it, we say it. Pretty much.
And y'all ain't going to hold nothing back either, I'll tell you that.
No, we pretty much say what people are thinking.
Yeah.
So is that what you're saying? Not that you're saying it, I'll say it for you, but it's almost a little bit of arrogance, like, because as the generations and the eras are a little bit different now, just like the comparisons of MJ's era and
The LeBron
era and the Kobe eras.
Yeah.
Like these younger guys feel like, okay, well, we're bigger, faster, and stronger than you guys. So
therefore we're better.
I think
we would have dominated you guys.
I really think that I want is just you want to feel like a certain amount of respect from them.
Okay, so you don't feel like
that is such a big word in anything.
It's not coming
but
off
especially in sports, it's the respect factor is so much like a punch in the chest than it is in anything else in sports. And you want guys to realize, oh yeah, you're doing what you're doing, but there was somebody before you that did it.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you don't get that you don't feel that. But I think that they're getting better.
And on the flip side of that, the way that you guys really worked hard, and we did too. Like we had the tour days, like it was a grind. We didn't have the technology. We didn't have the nutrition, pushed.
They have none of that.
Everything that helps with recovery to really extend the longevity of careers.
Yeah. You were just like, I just want to be out there and not get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you get hurt in training camp in 1985,
it was a wrap.
You were done.
Yeah. For the season, you were done.
You're done. Some of these guys, I don't think they could, like now, to do 2 a days, I don't really think they would make it through.
They don't make it through one a day.
They can do two. They can do 2 days, but they got to have shells on.
Well, that's not 2 a day.
Gonna but they would consider it 2 days.
Like we had it. Like we were full
2.5 hour practice.
No, sir. We're banging heads.
At least 2.5 hours.
Like when they do 5 yard in for end zone. I mean for goal line. That's goal line.
Goal line was
like
real.
You strapping it up. Like I remember going from
tempo.
one period, and you're like, okay, we do a certain number of plays to go at goal line. Like you on the sideline, like yo, we about to go goal line. Like
you better
for a number
get ready.
Of plays, like,
you better strap that up.
Like for real, like it's literally like during the course of the practice, the first maybe hour or so, you just walking around with your chin strap dangled, not really fully buckled up.
When I came in the league at 85, there was 125 players on the field in training camp.
Wow.
125, 16
what was
receivers.
Your rookie year?
85.
85.
So 16 receivers, 18 DBs. So one-on-one is supposed to be what, 10 minutes?
Oh no, yeah.
One-on-one was like 20. That's a quarter of the practice almost. Yeah. And that's just one-on-one. So
and they got to be quality reps.
Oh yeah.
With that number of receivers, you're not really getting a whole lot of reps. You
going in there. Hey, can I go? I need to get on film.
That's if you're really trying to go.
If you're trying to go and you're trying to make this team,
right?
It's not. Yeah, these dudes don't do that now, and that's just the way the league is. The league's that way.
It's for entertainment. It's not for the sport of football. So, again, do you want to change with that time, or do you want it to go back ever to be like where we were?
Well, some of these guys want to make it to the first game.
They don't make, but that's what we're saying. They don't make it to 17 days because they don't prepare their body for that contact.
No, and then the injury factor, if it isn't a blown out knee or they break something or they tweak something, they're out.
It's different between being injured and being hurt.
Right.
Yeah, you can play hurt.
Exactly.
If you injured, it's a little different perspective of it.
So let not go too far from the whole going to 4 Super Bowls, because man, this is back to back to back to back.
Back. 4 of them in a row.
Never be done again.
It'll never be done again.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think, because I know I only went to 1 Super Bowl, and I'll find myself sometimes just watching, documentaries or Super Bowl, going down Super Bowl memory lane or whatever, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have done X, Y, Z, or we would have done this or would have done that.
Yeah.
But you guys had 4 years of this, and I'm not. Does it haunt you at times? And I've seen the documentaries where I've seen Bruce Smith talk about it.
Jim Kelly,
Thomas. I've seen the kicker with Scott Norwood talk about it. And dude, it like he knows me. I'm not like a football historian or buff, but I found myself sometimes when they've talked about it, I'm like, man, because I played in the Super Bowl before, and I'm like, man, I really found myself really enamored with, like, man, you guys went to 4 in a row and didn't come out with not one win. Anybody would think, like, out of 4, you're going to get 1.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it is what it is.
Right.
I think each player that were on those teams for that many years, we were all together. Most of us were together all that time. I mean,
which is not normal.
Which is rarity.
And I feel kind of stupid asking it, because I'm like, man, how many times have you been asked that? I'm sure you've talked about this.
I talked about it
ad nauseum.
And when I say it, I go, dude, I've told people the same thing all the time.
Wow.
Because not only do they want to like when they talk to you, they want to be in your shoes and say, I wonder how I would feel if I was in his shoes.
Right.
And then you have people that say this and say that, but we had the same guys. So I played with the same guys for 12, 13 years.
Which is unheard, which is hard.
Same guys. So family, which is what we were about, and we knew that family atmosphere and that family nucleus that we had got us to those 4.
And it's the same,
yeah.
It was the same, I guess, kind of space with the NBA when you talk about the Chicago Bulls, the Detroit Cats, the Detroit Pistons, the Utah Jazz.
I bet if you ask Isaiah Thomas and you ask Michael, ask Michael and Isaiah Thomas and those teams, with the Celtics and Bird. I mean, that was basketball, man. That was that brought basketball, NBA, to the 90s, to the 2000s, to 2010s. I think what we did in the 90s brought football to the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s now.
And obviously revenue start to kind of factor into, you know, now you see free agency kind of just all over.
And we played, my first Super Bowl was in Pasadena in the old Sombrero. Well, we played in the old Sombrero, Tampa. And right during the Gulf War, it was a very trying time at that time. You guys remember that?
The Gulf War?
Yeah, it was during the Gulf War. So,
damn, you are old.
You know, one thing about that, it was crazy. I mean, you talking about walking in the stadium and dudes was strapped up. They were ready to go just in case something went down. Yeah, they had snipers. And the Super Bowls are like that, but these dudes
But that one had to be because it was the country was on high alert. Obviously.
On high alert, yeah. But
I had no idea.
Yeah, so those 4, it was some of the best times I ever had in my life, and people try to figure out, well, you guys didn't win. How was it the best time? I go, because I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference between a professional football player and somebody who's watching it on TV.
I agree.
Right.
That's the difference. And am I mad, and do I just sit down and sulk and sometimes, I wish we would have had one? Of course. I mean, that's just in nature.
It's a life analogy. It's about the journey, not the destination, right? The destination, you got there, but what did you become when you got there?
Because it's taught so many different players and so many different organizations and college kids and high school kids
on how to do
that it doesn't matter the journey. Whether you win or lose, you're going to be taught
the lessons
lessons of winning, the lessons of losing.
Yeah, and you need all of those.
And you need all that for life. Yep.
So how did you become a receiver? Like,
how'd you get to Kutztown?
I got to Kutztown. I was a quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pass. I was not a good passer.
You were just playing the position.
I was playing the position because I was the best athlete.
And running the option, probably.
Yeah, we ran the option.
Triple option.
You were the black guy.
No, we ran the wing T.
Wing T, same.
Wing T, man.
Options,
and I just could run with the ball.
Right.
And they were, just get him the ball in any way we can. Put the ball in his hand.
The best player's hand.
Put the ball in the best player's hands.
And make plays.
Yeah.
That's why we were both quarterbacks. That's why you didn't touch the ball in high school.
That's cool.
The quarterback's like, don't throw it to him.
Guess what? I'm not even arguing with you.
I know, because
I wasn't that good.
I know.
But
you're not gonna make me feel bad and trying to you know what? Well, you're probably right. I know I was right, Sean.
Right, but as you guys just eloquently shared with everybody, it's about the journey.
Yes, and who
not
you
the
became.
destination.
See how T got a great way of turning things.
It's not the destination. This is the journey for me.
He's learned throughout this process.
It's been the journey for me. I just happen to just leave you in the dust, leave you behind.
And
you know what? I'm still on the journey.
Still on
of life.
Well, I don't know where this ends.
Yeah,
but I got to
going.
college, and they were like, "Did you ever play receiver in college?" And I said, "Well, the only place I played receiver was in the backyard,
right,
with my brothers and at the park and all that."
Look, man, you still got the same hair, man.
Pretty much.
He's in the Hall of Fame for Jerry.
That's 1984.
Bro, you still got the
83.
same hair, man. You ain't
You
changed.
know what? I was talking about hats back then too. You don't even realize it.
Oh man,
Back then,
like he's a turd. That little turd.
But I got there and they said, "Hey, do you want to try receiver?" And I said, "As long as I could play,
get on the
field and play."
And that's the attitude that a lot of kids, as we
fell
grew up,
into real life.
that was what we wanted
have
to do.
to.
As long as we can get on the field somewhere and play,
Contribute.
we were open to it. Some of these kids, like, you try to try another position. Oh,
No,
man,
I'm a
they
such and
doing
such,
that.
like
They pissed off. They probably walking off.
I'm gonna transfer.
Call the parents and
Right.
transfer.
I want to transfer, man.
I'm getting the portal.
I'm gonna get my
You know what I mean?
NIL. I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
And I switched, and that was history there. I think.
So when did you realize? Okay, so you say you weren't a good quarterback.
No, I was
So obviously,
a runner.
the coaching staff, they
He's a
probably
runner.
saw
He's a
that too
track
with
star.
the evaluation. Like, okay, well, he's the best athlete.
How do we get it
Quarterback
to
is
him?
just not the position for you. So I guess they start, kind of experimenting.
Pretty much, and said you're gonna play receiver, and I said, okay.
And it took off from there.
Yeah.
Kutztown.
Really raw though, T. I mean, I'm talking. I didn't run routes at the house and backyard. You're just
When raw, shoot, what was I then?
yeah. I mean, I'm stupid raw.
meat.
Right. If you were raw, I don't know what I was then.
But I really, my brothers helped me a lot because they were defensive backs in college.
Okay.
So, I was in the 3-point stance back then.
Yeah,
oh
receiver.
my gosh, I
That's right.
forgot about
Straight up
receivers.
three.
Yeah.
Back in the mid-'80s, the first
Receivers
decade, it was
were-
receivers
Now
are
these dudes don't even know what they
straight up down there like
3-point
this.
stand like this.
Yeah,
This
yep.
guy.
Yes, sir.
Getting jammed up at the line of scrimmage.
But they didn't have
corner-
the guys.
I know they
jam,
didn't.
the
I know.
didn't jam back
but
then.
I say the DBs didn't even jam.
They didn't do that.
Like if somebody would
If they would have jammed,
they could have jammed.
You wouldn't have got off the line.
I would have
Right.
took me to the sideline, right to the bench, and sit
Yeah.
down.
So defensive backs back then they were dummies, huh?
Straight up.
They were dummies.
Straight up. Straight
Hey,
up. I can't put it no other way.
You can get mad at me all you want to, because you are dummies to not
I tell
to
you
know to
what,
go up there
nothing.
and press a dude that's bent down, and you can't
Bend down. All you gotta
just
do
let
is
him
push
get
him.
off the line.
Hey, push him in the
was
ground.
that the Mel Blunt
But then-
rule that came into play because of that, though, when
The
he started
NFL
not letting people off the
during
line of
those
scrimmage
during those days too did the same thing. They didn't stand up. They were on
3-point stand.
3-point stance.
until Mel Blunt was up there pressing.
Oh, so Mel
Mel
so,
Blunt
Mel
changed
started.
it.
Mel.
so he's the
yeah.
smartest one out of everybody.
Yeah.
He's the smartest.
But he
cat.
started it.
So you couldn't
He started
jam,
made him stand up.
Couldn't jam a receiver after 5 yards because he would not let dudes ever get
He'd sit
open,
that people
ever.
down. He sit dudes down and hey, here's your Gatorade.
Yeah, that was
Mel Blunt.
Melly, legend,
You ever meet Mel?
No, I haven't.
and he's
Dude.
big as you.
Mel's like
And he's big as
DA.
you.
DK was just on your shirt. Mel's the biggest DK.
Yeah. And he was a
DB?
corner.
Yes, sir.
Corner. One of the
Corner.
best corners ever. Absolutely.
I think
was a
one
dog.
of the biggest, I guess, that I've played against is probably like a Aeneas Williams. Dale
Aeneas is just strong.
Carter,
Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor was probably
Steve
the biggest.
Atwater, safety
Safety
wise.
though, yeah.
Boy, them like the big. Bobby Taylor was like
Bobby
big.
Taylor
probably
was
the
like
biggest
big.
corner
Yeah,
I
you're
probably
right,
played
yeah,
against.
Bobby
He was
Taylor.
big, long, 6'3", 220, 215-ish.
Yeah. But see, when
Then
that
later on, Brandon Browner that played.
oh yeah,
at
when that
Seattle.
changed, the receiver had to change. You had to get
Well,
the TOs and all those guys.
Calvin
Calvin
I hate
Johnson.
But
to
y'all
I,
had the Haywood Jeffries.
I hate to
and
put this
Jake
on you
Reeves.
guys though,
Yeah.
but actually the '98 Vikings changed the whole perspective, and I'm gonna let you know. So look at the corners. I'm gonna tell you why. So listen up.
Hold up,
Go
you
get
want
your.
some?
We got a lot of hate in the building, but so this is how it happened. So in '98, when we go set all the records,
How they
right?
change it? How
Just
they change
If
it?
you want to listen,
Okay, go
You
ahead.
know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give you the form. Go ahead.
Thank you. In '98, right, all the offensive records were set by our offense because of Chris being 6'3", Jake Reed being 6'3", Moss being 6'4", and myself, and Tony Bland, who's a number 5 receiver,
I
is
remember
also
him.
6'4",
I remember
right?
Tony Bland.
So the Packers, the following year, is like, okay, how do you win the division? You have to beat the team who's best in your division. So they go draft 2 corners. Everybody started going big corners because nobody could do the 6'2", 6'3" receiver, right? Then you go look at San Fran with Jerry, T, J.J. Stokes, right? All those,
And me and Lofton.
all you guys were all 6 foot or more. Before that, it was all the Ernest Givens types and the
It
Andre
was the
Rison types.
Dupers and Claytons.
It was the
and-
smaller receiver. So, but after that year, when you go look at the NFL draft, you're going to start seeing 6 foot corners, and since then, it's
Yeah,
been
I think-
outta
I
here.
think that-
All
that's a-
taller corners since then.
I
They
think.
can't spell.
Yeah. They spell it with it the other way. That's you're right. You're absolutely right. And then
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Just a hater.
I'm gonna give him because it's he's
I'm
half-
just giving. Just go look
he's
at
half
it.
of this
Just go.
show,
Just go
so.
wiki it. Just
Don't
go
say
wiki the information. You know what I'm saying?
That was a yeah.
That had
The Dupers
nothing
and the
to do with the
Claytons were
Vikings.
like little guys that can jump.
Yeah. But
And then
now
the game changed that
the
because
game
the
changed.
defenses changed it. Yeah.
And the offenses want big receivers outside. You can't be considered a number 1 receiver unless you're 6'3", 6'4" right now. Look at the NFL draft. You're going to be, you're 6'3", you're an X. You're 6'4", you're an X. And then maybe you'll go a Z. But anybody 5 under, what do we say? Oh, he's in the slot. Slot guy. And of course, there's 3-4 receiver sets on every single play.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, of course, the game has evolved. But as I know I told T this before, the game also evolved around trying to get you in space, right? So I'd say the top 2 ball carriers run after catch probably in NFL history are probably you two, right? Reed and Owens. Like that's the 2 top guys. When you talk about catching the ball and then going to make people miss. That's why you guys are Hall of Famers. There's stuff he didn't do great. There's stuff you didn't do great. But those 2 things, you guys probably, if you look at the tapes of all the NFL Hall of Famers, you guys did that the best. And now you're seeing, right?
Did he just give me some props, man?
Man, I'm you see
Are you
my mouth,
flabbergasted?
bro. I ain't saying
Hey, man,
nothing.
you want some popcorn?
Bro, I haven't seen, bro. You
Oh,
look
y'all
at
put
me,
something in here.
Yeah.
bro. You see me? I'm like,
But no, that's the. I always.
You know what? I
speak
remember
the
you
facts.
telling me that, and
I speak the facts.
it made me feel good, man. I
And
appreciate
again,
that.
now it's to a game. We got 3-4 receivers, but it's all about getting players in space because if they make the first person miss, they can go score. Back in the day, you had to make 3, 4, 5 people miss and then go score. It's a whole total different game.
I mean, do you think that because of running backs now, they become
hybrids.
You
running
have
backs?
to be a hybrid to be successful.
Yeah, running backs now are. I mean, the guys they still get their yards, but the
Space.
game isn't predicated on that guy unless you're Derrick Henry.
Right.
It's not predicated on you gaining 100 yards.
No,
You have to
not
gain
at all.
100 to win the game.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No.
You got to
Now,
have
you
guys
can
that
still
miss.
run the ball as an offense, right? Because you still want to have 25 carries. The 49ers are still going to have 25 runs. They're
they got
not going to
McCaffrey?
run it like down the inside zone and power 25 times like you would with the Steelers with Jerome Bettis. Total different game. But they're going to do reverses. They're going to do jet sweeps. They're going to do all of those things to get their 25 runs in just to keep it balanced. But nobody no more is going power and inside zone 25, 30 times a game. Not that
Good
game
analogy.
anymore.
You're right. Yep. Do you think he's right?
Of course, he don't know. He's
He's right. I don't know anything about football.
he knows nothing
Right, T.
about it.
I just played it. to
He
be
just
quite
went
honest.
out there and ran a slant and got lucky.
That's all.
Yeah. I was running.
That's all he needed to do.
He was running scared.
Hey, maybe you should have
Ran
taken a
scared
page
too?
out of my book.
I
'cause
tried.
I was running scared. My
I
first
tried.
3 or 4 years, when you saw me,
Were you
bro.
scared? Your eyes were big.
Yo, I wasn't trying to get hit by none of y'all suckers, bro. None of them. Bro, I ain't gonna tell no lie. Like, literally, I felt like I was literally a college kid playing a pro game. And I'm like, I don't want no
I'm
parts
telling you,
of it.
man.
Punch of that
I
smoke.
come across that middle about 8 yards. The inside linebacker would just forget his responsibility.
Come
Right,
knock
and
your
look
head
you
off.
up.
Look me up.
Yeah,
As long as he can make me go around him,
yeah.
He's done his
He's
job.
done his job.
He's done his
But
job.
he
his-
got a
but
plus
he was
in the
still
film
trying
room.
to hit you
He was trying
first.
to hit. He
But
was trying
then
to knock
your
me out.
speed, yeah, your speed will get yourself.
Trying to
right.
knock me out. He would turn this way and be like, "What you gonna do?"
Yeah.
So
Now
as
they
long, if
can't
I
do
just
that.
get disrupted a little bit, that's timing.
But now you can't do that. Now you have to let
No,
you have
you
to
gotta let
the
him go.
receivers run through. So now you're saying the catches you would have had, would you had doubled your numbers? Would you had?
I'd have been close to it. I know that. If I'm
I
running
mean,
through
you-
there like that,
You went through the middle. You were one of the receivers, one of the tougher receivers that would catch the ball over the middle, and of course,
dude, I would have caught. Yeah, no doubt about it.
because you're not worried about a dude knocking your head off.
Oh, especially now.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody they
Like,
can't touch
for
you.
sure.
Come on, man.
Like, bro, like, there's...
You got tight ends catching 100 balls a
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
Yes.
Like,
There was-
over the last probably like 5 to 10 years, like, how many tight ends have had like 100 catches or more? Prior to that,
Prior to that,
there wasn't
there's only
many.
what Kelsey was.
Kelsey
wasn't
and,
Kelsey the
um,
first.
No, I think it was Tony Gonzalez, maybe.
I think
He had
yeah,
100.
Yeah, he had 100.
I think it might have been Gonzalez. Yeah.
Watching that Super Bowl, I'm like, can somebody guard Travis Kelsey?
Nobody can guard Travis Kelsey. I don't know what it was.
I'm like,
Nobody
how
could
is he
guard
open?
Travis.
It's like he comes out and they just go like this.
Yeah, we go put the worst DB on
They
him.
look the other way.
and just let him go. I don't
It's not
know.
like he killing them.
I don't think he gets doubled in combo coverage enough, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I love watching this game.
If you
don't
watch
get
the
me
film,
wrong.
you can see that.
And I was like, defensive coordinator, what are we expecting on 3rd and 4? We know Travis.
It's not
Kelce's
really
getting the ball.
surprising because for me, I saw Jason Witten, who's slow as
He had
molasses.
100.
Slow
That's
as
right.
molasses.
Running
And
He had
down.
102, didn't he? Did he have 100?
I think-
Man,
Or did he have over 100?
Did he have 100? Did
100.
Jason Witten had 100 catches once?
bro,
I think he did.
he was slow as molasses in 40-degree weather.
And 900-degree weather.
And he was getting that. I mean, that just shows you
Yeah.
a testament to his skill set. Like
He's just big body. He just
body
body
language, a lot of
He had some great
little
hands,
small.
though.
Yeah.
Great
Oh, and he
hands.
was pretty sure-handed.
Tony. I think one of his best attributes wasn't his catching and running routes. He was a basketball player,
Right, yeah. He
Big
was more
boy G,
athletic. You know, it's athleticism.
so he can find a spot and know how to deal in that spot.
Yeah, spine his own, things of that nature.
Yeah.
What is? I mean, you went to 4 Super Bowl. Was there?
Uh-huh.
Is there any one of those that stood out more than the other? as far as like I guess production wise, success wise. I mean, obviously you didn't,
I think the first one because of the missed field goal with 9 or 10 seconds left, and then the second one against the Cowboys. Obviously, we turned the ball over too many times. We wouldn't beat the high school doing that.
Yeah, obviously.
But
games.
I think the Cowboys were the best football team at that time because with Emmett and they had the best offensive line in the game.
Yeah, Nate New.
Defensively, they had 2-A and Big Eric Williams, Stepnowski. I mean, nobody touched Troy at all.
Or Emmett till he got 6 yards. Yeah.
But it was that second one where, when you play somebody 2 times, you're like, oh, they got the same thing. What do
we need to do?
What we need to do to
exploit their?
What we need to do? Mm-hmm. Okay, we got to protect the ball. That was our biggest thing. It wasn't like we felt that we didn't match up with them because we were more shifty than they were. Obviously, with their offensive line, they were bigger up front. They would wear people down. So we just had to hold on to the ball. In that second game, that first half, I mean, everything was working on cylinders, and then we turned the ball over again. And when good teams know how to capitalize on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's 7 points.
A good team.
That's 7.
That's 7 points.
Right.
Especially
Automatic 3.
For sure.
For sure, but 7 with a good team.
Yeah.
And I say this, T, and Hatch, that we were a tired football team.
Why do you think so?
We played more games in that span than any team in the National Football League ever.
That's right. Because you
over
were
115 games in
that
span.
4 years. Wow, that is a lot. Because
We
people
were
don't
such
understand.
a
We're talking
tired-
about
and that's
we're talking
no
about
excuse now.
preseason
That's-
as well.
That's not an excuse. I'm not saying, well, yeah, that's the main reason. No, you turn the ball over. That's
Right.
But I think mentally, and the mental part of the game is so important now. And I know you guys have talked about this on your podcast. Mentally, if you ain't in it, it doesn't matter who's out there.
Right.
If you're not in it up here, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And I think mentally we got wore down. By the time we got to that last Super Bowl, the second to last one, we were I think we were mentally spent.
On fumes.
So now I'm thinking, what does he mean? Like,
Because again, because
the Super
preseason, and you're playing in February every year.
So I'm
then after February, you had Pro Bowl, which you had 10 players out in Pro Bowl.
Yo.
You're getting back mid-February, and then you're starting to work out in March.
I was lost for a second. I'm like, what do you mean you played more games than everybody? I'm like, okay, just the accumulation
year after year.
The accumulation of those games, and I think we were
training camp,
everything.
everything.
And the training camps were no joke.
Right then,
Training camps weren't a joke.
Right, and your off season was shorter.
Shorter offseason. You're done mid-February.
Because
we were already We played
focused till mid-February.
I think 93 we played.
Wow.
We played in the wild card game all the way to Super Bowl. Then you had the regular season. They just added up, and I think it just all. And again, I'm not saying this to all your viewers. To your viewers, that was the reason, but it had something to do with it.
That's equivalent like you buying a car and you're driving your car more miles than anybody else.
Yeah, man, it's gonna wear down.
At some point, the wear and tear is gonna catch up to you at some point.
And believe it or not, I'm surprised it didn't happen.
I was wondering where you were going with
I wonder where you're going with
but
that.
you drove that car right to the
Believe
spot.
it or not.
That was good.
Right,
That was good.
you got to put that car.
Believe it
in
or
the
not,
shop,
I'm not surprised that we were tired 2 years before that.
Right, yeah. It's just
But it just hit us that third and that fourth year because it was just back to back, and doom.
Wow. Yeah, I honest, bro, I never thought of it that way.
I mean, the mental part of the game, you guys know, these kids got to realize how mental this game is.
Like recovery.
And you got to put both of those together. If you want to be successful as a football team, the mental, the physical aspect of it, they got to be neck and neck. One can't be out here and the other one's just lagging.
And y'all done won one. Y'all going to like the 1, 2, 3, not 4. Y'all were probably going through Buffalo. y'all were tearing that town up,
dude.
They love you in Buffalo.
Man, what man?
Some of the best.
Till today, they love you in
today.
Buffalo.
We have a brotherhood that I never in a million years thought that we would have.
Yep.
Not only are we Hall of Famers, but the fact that he
was up there for a year. He know.
I played there for a year, and bro, this is no exaggeration. no lie, bro. I've gone back to Buffalo, and I swear to on everything I learned. Bro, you would have thought that I played 10 years in Buffalo.
What's it called? The Bills Mafia?
Mafia, ain't no
Bro,
joke.
Mafia real.
Dude, this is no lie. The reception, and people can get mad at me all day.
When we were up there together.
Bro, the reception that I've gotten when I've gone back to Buffalo has been greater than in San Francisco, where I played 8 years.
Interesting.
And people get mad at me all they want to.
What about Philly?
But it was just the appreciation. It may be neck and neck.
Neck and neck
but
with Philly? Okay.
Philly good.
Yeah,
Right.
Philly too. But Buffalo, bro, it was unexpected. I swear it was so unexpected, man. I'm talking about, bro,
We were up for a
made
game
me,
2 years. Was it 2 years ago we were up for the game?
Like the Monday night game or something, right?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
the one playoff game or something. We were up
Man,
there.
it was-
and we
man.
walked through there.
Hatch. You would. I
The
swear to
roof
God,
came off.
They loved y'all.
Bro,
Oh, my
that's
God.
good, man.
Bro,
That's
I thought,
awesome.
bro, I'm
So,
telling you,
it's a
would have
good
thought I
feeling.
played there for my entire career.
Yep.
That's good.
I love Buffalo fans, Bills Mafia.
You should move to
I
Buffalo.
love you.
He should move. He's like, no.
Buffalo,
I'm
I
not gonna
love
do all
you.
that, but
Buffalo, I love you, but I'm black and I don't like the cold. I'm black and I don't like the cold. But I loved it when I played there. Trust me.
How cold did they get in Buffalo for them games?
Bro.
I know.
I don't know how-
In
I know-
Minnesota, we had a dome, so I really wasn't. We was good. But in Buffalo,
we played.
Was it like some of those minus?
We played
fives?
a month. The sun came out maybe 3 times
Bro.
in a month.
Monday
tell you
night
something.
games.
Bro, let me tell you something. It was so cold. It was so gloomy and cold. Like I had gotten hurt or something. I was going to get an MRI or something. And it had been cold, gloomy all week. I'm talking about cold.
No sun.
Bro, it was like 40-something degrees, 40, 50 degrees, and the sun was out. They was in shorts and T-shirts.
Oh, for sure. That's a holiday.
For sure. That's
But it was like they
That's
was
like
walking
West
around
Palm. That's like
sunny.
West Palm Beach.
Yeah,
Yes.
40 and sunny.
Dude, I was tripping out. I'm like, cause I'm in the car. I've got my hoodie on.
Hoodie
I got
up,
the
all right.
team issue. I'm doubling up, and I'm like,
shorts.
Hey, I got a quick one. I took my boy up there one time, and we were sitting in the hotel. We could see outside, and some dude rode his bike by. Just a regular old bike, and it was probably like 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds, snowing. Old boy had shorts on and a windbreaker.
yeah.
That's
In
all he had
Buffalo.
on in
That-
Buffalo.
Put
Yeah.
that in
Sound about
perspective.
right, yeah.
That's the
That's
type
crazy.
of weather that they're used to.
Yeah.
Dude, I was tripping out. I'm like, yo, how are they? I'm like, why are they in shorts and T-shirt? Like,
Yeah.
yo, it's cold outside. Yo, any
It's
glimmer of
cold
sunlight,
outside.
any glimmer
I
of
got the
sunlight,
month of shade.
bro, they
And last year they went through a whole lot last year. Like I've been in some
had to
snowstorms.
relocate. Like, yes, they had to.
that Monday.
Yeah,
Monday
they
night
had to
game
relocate and
Detroit or
play
something,
somebody
right?
else.
Yeah.
Detroit.
I've been in some
It's-
cold ones there.
The lake effect.
Okay, so why did they relocate that game? But you guys back in the day, you still had to play in them. There was no relocating.
Should I just
20
tell them
years
we
ago.
were tougher.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Bottom line.
it's soft. The guys are softer. The league is
We
softer
had no
now.
bubble. We
Right.
had we had a half bubble there, 50 yards,
Right.
and half of that, the snow.
Took half the 20 to the end
No, the
zone,
snow
but
on top of the bubble slid down to one side. So
Yeah.
that was
half the field.
we couldn't even practice over there.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing would come down.
Bro, let me tell you something. Buffalo, they love me in Buffalo. I don't, for whatever reason, they love me because I mean, when
I
I,
don't know
went
why
there my
either.
year,
Yeah, they love you.
I would
bro.
like the answer to
it
that.
was
Buffalo.
it was
Why?
T.O.
They love you, T. They
and
love you.
B-Lo. And I trust me, I enjoyed it like
Lord,
like
B-Lo.
like
I
no
thought
other.
when he got there, I thought the Pope came out and just
Bro, they gave me a key to the
Pope
city.
was there.
They gave me the
I was
key
like,
to the
man,
city.
Who's your
everything.
mascot? Ralphie? Is that or is that
don't know
Colorado?
what
That's
he
the
is.
Colorado Buffalo.
But one thing about those fans, too,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get a shirt off their back.
What?
That's good. Those are good fans. Those are good fans.
Like honestly, if
They
I
are
ever,
true
I ain't
fans,
gonna tell
and
no
they're the
lie.
best traveling fans in the NFL.
Really?
Bro, I went to Nashville. They took over Nashville.
Hey, let me tell you, if I ever had to fall on hard times, I know where to go to feel appreciated. That's for sure.
And guess what? They'll give you what they got.
Trust me.
They'll give
I'll be decked out in Buffalo gear.
I'm gonna go back. Fall on hard times.
What? I'm just
What are you gonna go back to Buffalo and do?
I'm gonna feel at home. home, dog.
He's gonna go.
I'm just telling you. I'm just
He's
telling you.
gonna go to kids' parties, working,
Right.
wearing a clown outfit, going into the kids' parties.
Is that what you gonna do?
Bro, I'm telling you, I get back on my feet in Buffalo, dog.
Yeah, you would.
I'm telling you, bro. You trust me. I understand skull.
Yeah, skull.
You and Jay Rand. Every time I talk to Jay Rand,
Yeah, I understand that, bro. But I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. The two places that are fanatics that I played, Philly and Buffalo.
Interesting.
And that's no knock on the other.
What about
organizations that I play for.
Cleveland? You guys think Cleveland fans are that like that?
No, they're just
we played
delusional.
We played a playoff game there at old Cleveland Stadium.
Yeah, the old one.
They're delusional.
What, Municipal Stadium? I think
No,
it was?
old Utah Stadium.
Yeah,
I mean, on the sidelines,
the batteries and all that stuff they used to throw.
you know, like throw dog bones at you
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
But on the sideline, right by the bench, sprinklers were sticking up. I was like, oh, if somebody gets tackled here,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
Isn't it funny how unsafe the
It's so
the fields
unsafe.
were back
I mean,
in the
Jim
day?
Brown used to play on that. I'm like, Jim Brown ain't playing today. Y'all need to clean this up.
Well, that's why, because he landed on a sprinkler.
Man, tell you.
Like, I'm out.
What was it like when you made the Hall of Fame? Tell me.
Let me tell you, T,
Tell
it
me what
was-
it's like, bro.
It was, and I think every Hall of Famer has something same but similar story when they got the call or whatever happened.
Except for me.
But
It's similar.
yeah, it's
I talked
probably
to him about
similar in a
it.
way. Yeah, yeah.
Because what'd you wait? How many years did you wait?
I waited 8,
8 years.
and at one point I was like, because all your friends are like, yeah, man, this your year, da 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 da. You know, when this that time comes around, and you're like, well, since I can't really do anything about it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you say if you think this or not.
Right.
I just let it go if it was going to happen. So it was always me, Tim, and Chris Carter every year,
Yep.
taking votes from each other.
Yep.
And then in 13, Chris got in, and I was like, well, and after being up a couple years, I kind of figured out how they do things.
You
know,
thought Chris was
I-
going to get in before you?
I didn't even think of it that way. I was like, whoever goes in first. I saw him like the night before the ceremony, the announcement. Then I went in 14. Tim Brown went in the next year.
So 13, 14, 15.
Yeah. So what I thought was, you only can do but so much. You can't just like go.
You've already played.
I already played at the game.
Right.
I've already did what the game thought I should
Already
do.
in the barn.
Already.
The hay's already in the barn.
Right.
Right now, just, you know, we just don't want to throw a match in there.
Right.
But it's not like I said, yeah, that's right. I deserve this.
Right. Because you weren't too vocal.
No, I just think that things happen the way they should, and I had to trust that if that's the way it was going to go. And then when I got the call, it was like you thought about the first time you put the helmet on and the last time you took it off. As a little kid and as an adult. And all the stuff in between kind of just flashes. It really goes, flashes right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And you think about your parents and your family and how they came up to Cole games and did all this, and that's really what you think. You don't really you don't think about you. You think about the people that made
That enjoyed it.
you who you
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Because you don't get to enjoy the weekend. That's what I tell people.
No,
like,
you-
your family's up there having a good time. Like, I'm working.
Yeah.
I do it. I enjoyed my weekend.
I know he did. I know you did.
Get your popcorn.
And when
ready.
this guy finally went in, when he finally went in, I mean, did I call you? I think I talked to you probably a week
we
or
talked.
so. We talked. And I didn't ask you, how you feel, because I already knew. We already know. And as the years go on now, and if I would ask him that, he would tell me probably the same thing he would probably told me back then.
Right, right.
Still feel the same.
Now, you handling it obviously differently than the way T handled it.
And I think, you know what? You have to respect the way he did it.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
You got to respect that. That's
Neither's
the way
right,
he
neither's
felt.
wrong. I agree.
We all know that he was one of the greatest to ever play the game. As a fellow Hall of Famer, I got to ask that for a couple years.
Yeah.
Well, what he did, I go, that man's going to do what he thinks he should do.
Right.
Did you think you were better than some players that were already in?
No, I never thought that. I always said,
But you did. Did you think that you thought you were better than some players that were already in at that time?
Yeah, considering where I was statistically, me, like I said,
Yeah.
understanding the criteria. And then
Yeah.
for me, I looked at it too. It's like you said, I deserve to be in because for me, we've talked about it. I told Head, like, we both went to small schools. Bro, I had no idea that I was going to
We all
play.
did.
All
Right.
of us.
You
yeah.
could.
I went to a
Hoops
cow
town.
tipping school.
Right. So I
Brothers
had
be
no,
cow tipping.
Right. I had no idea that I was going to be playing in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So now I put in all this work. I do whatever I need to do with Jerry, without Jerry, beyond Jerry. And here I am statistically second, number 2, number 3, number 4 in all these categories behind which everybody is considered the greatest receiver
Jerry,
of all
yeah.
time in Jerry Rice. And here I am, my first time, 2016, my first time up for nomination. And then I'm going to all the banquets, this and the other. I'm meeting now fellow Hall of Famers, this and that know that I'm up. They telling me, oh,
And
bro.
remember I talked to you? Remember I talked to you like 2 years in a row.
Because the first year, it was in San Francisco. I was up. The Super Bowl was in San Francisco.
Yeah,
And then the
we
sec-
talked at the winery.
And then the second year,
See, I got to
Did you
put
tell
wine
him
in
you
there.
weren't getting in?
No,
Why didn't you tell him then?
no, I didn't.
Why? That's your job to help him out. Why didn't you tell him?
How
if
you
you're
think I
afraid?
knew?
but people that had been in, but people that were Hall of
Right,
Famers,
right, right.
they were like, they came up, they was like, bro, you are for sure, like you're a first ballot.
Do you think
So for
that,
me,
do you
that
think
was-
that was what was that a letdown?
I don't
more
think-
because they told you that though.
I mean, I think because the players know.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Not disputing you. I'm just saying because the players know. You get what I'm saying? It's just like Deion now. He's coming out. He's being vocal about like now they're just letting any and everybody into the Hall of
It's
Fame.
the Hall
And you
of
got to
average.
and you got to respect that.
Right.
Do
And
you
so for
believe
me,
when
I think
Deion
we're-
says it's the Hall of Average?
I
like,
think
is that
we all want to lash out and say, "Oh, that was the wrong thing to say, Dion." You know what?
it don't matter.
I
You
think
got to
he
realize
has-
that's what that man thinks.
right. And there's a merit to how he's thinking too, because
He's a professional.
that he's the greatest at what he did. He played 2 sports at a very
He was
high level.
Top 5 greatest athletes ever.
To grace our
Exactly.
planet, absolutely.
So why wouldn't you take
Listen.
it in consideration? And then on top of that, I just the other day I'm thinking about too. Not this ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm thinking
What?
about a guy like Darren Woodson that's not in the Hall of
would.
Fame, but John Lynch is. How do
that's
you?
the- that's the debate.
How in the hell do you quantify that?
Do you know who John Lynch is?
Yeah,
Do you think that
He's
Darren
he's
Woodson should
a-
be in?
I think Darren Woodson should be in. Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. Okay, let me ask you. Do you think Darren Woodson should be in? I want you to go research. Maybe when you come back, revisit it. Go research and see what Darren Woodson has done.
I know what Darren Woodson has
outside
done.
of the
I
Super
agree.
Bowls
I-
and what he's done for that defense that was part of
agree.
The
that
definition
defense.
of a Hall of Famer is this: when he stepped out on the field, did you have to attend to him
Impact.
all the time?
Impact.
all the time, every play.
All the
Else,
time.
if you didn't, it was going to be a big play.
It was going
Right.
to be
Yeah.
And
yeah.
when I got with the Niners, and I like I said, I didn't know anything about no rivalry of the Cowboys and the Niners. I knew nothing about that.
But you knew where Darren Woodson was going to be.
Right. When it comes to the
Where's
game
28?
plan,
We're 28.
that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, granted, John Lynch did some great things here and there, but I'm not looking for John. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't.
Interesting.
But when I played my rookie year on, like when I played against the Cowboys, like I had to identify.
It's something after you play and then people ask you questions and they go, "Really?" Like when you're playing, you don't
I didn't
think
think
you're not
about
thinking you're
that.
not
Right.
thinking about that.
Take that in consideration.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
a guy starts on the defense and he's the number one guy back there in the secondary for that defense, for me, overall, the totality of it, that doesn't mean like, okay, he's impacting, what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, he has to be accounted for that day because you're game planning. But I wasn't scared of 47.
I feel you. Yeah.
When I played when I was at the Eagles and he was, I guess he was with
Niners.
Denver at the time.
I always said, you know what, dude, if you're on the ballot, you deserve to be in there.
And obviously,
but that's.
And I don't know
that's
how
what
they.
I'm
I
saying.
don't know how they think. How the writers but they got their own way of doing
Right.
things.
But anybody who's getting
But a
on the
player-
ballot is getting in. That's the maybe.
But
that's
as a
the
player,
issue,
because
though.
we have so much, we have respect for our peers and all that. You're on the ballot, bro.
Okay,
They just
let me
didn't throw you
let
in there
me
like
ask
some
you this.
popcorn
Let
and
me
go,
ask
oh,
you
here you
this
go.
then.
right, because we made up the game. Like,
right.
bro, like we.
But if
like,
players voted, would the Hall of Fame look different?
That'd be
Would it be look different right now?
Of
if
course.
only players voted.
yeah,
of course.
and I'm not saying
Of
it
course.
should be an all-player committee. I think it should be a balance of
Players don't-
writers.
no players vote. Right.
There's only two now. There's only
But
two.
they're on.
There's
They're on
James
a.
Bond-
They're on a
it's
committee.
through the media though.
right.
They're on a committee.
Like I don't know who.
Lofton, and you
Lofton.
have
Dan Fouts.
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 Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything that they would just continue to add Hall of Famers
Players.
on the ballot.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not going to do that because then they'll have to have.
Well, their
these
system will be
conversations.
compromised.
Yes.
And then if something happens, oh yeah, we know why now.
Yeah.
So
It would be no different than what's going on with just the media, pretty much. I mean, it's like a popularity.
That's
thing.
it.
It's like it wouldn't be any different.
it would change into that. And I think as players and guys that are already in there, we wouldn't want that. To a certain point, we wouldn't want that. Yeah.
The guys who are already in there, but the
Yeah.
guys who are not in there, maybe
Because they send me a ballot every year. I get
Not-
one,
not- not
not a
to vote,
ballot,
though.
but they said, hey, who do you think? I talked to
right.
one of the
so
writers.
they're
Who
getting
do you
your
think?
opinion.
Yeah, this is my opinion.
They ain't sent me nothing. They know not to send me anything.
They don't want. They don't want your
They
opinion.
want none of what I got to say.
They don't want your opinion at all.
That's good. That's fine and dandy.
Wow. So where do you rank yourself? And NFL receivers in the history. Where do you rank yourself? Because you have an interesting career. It's like, okay, people don't understand what you did. Like when you had some big numbers back in the day. Again, Super Bowls, all these
And
things.
this is what's so crazy. I didn't even know who you were.
That's horrible. You're
But
right.
I'm
That's
just-
horrible.
No,
No,
but-
that's valid. I
No,
mean,
it's not
because
valid.
what
It's
is,
all- it's
that is
horrible.
valid. But I
That's
did it.
Andre Reed.
No, I get it, but I didn't follow football.
you didn't follow it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't follow NFL football. I didn't know anything about pro football till like literally my junior year in college. I had seen it, but I wasn't engulfed in it because I didn't follow it like that. That wasn't my aspiration. That wasn't my dream to become an NFL player. You know what I mean? I watched more NBA growing up.
There you go.
And we knew that dream wasn't going to happen, so.
Well, it's cool. I mean, you're living a dream being on this podcast with me right now.
Dre, don't laugh at that.
Boom.
Dre, don't laugh at that.
I mean, so we're all living,
I
I
living out
met
our
you,
dreams.
First time I met you was probably 6-7 years ago.
Right, exactly. And but the thing,
Just passing
once
through.
I got into the league, bro, I've heard of him, but I didn't know.
I get him.
Yeah, but I didn't
Watch
know
him.
much.
There was
yeah.
no YouTube back in there when you played, so I get it.
I didn't
There
know
wasn't even
much.
TV back then.
Where
Right.
do you rank yourself? I mean, again, it doesn't have to be an ego thing. It doesn't have to be a humble thing. Just throw a number out there.
Yeah, I mean, bro,
Whatever
this
you
dude
say is
keep
not.
trying to put Randy Moss in front of me. Get your hands
Who-
off me,
whoever,
dude.
whoever put Randy Moss in front
You.
of you know who's in front of you? Me. I'm in
Here
front
it
of you. That's who's in front of you.
Beside me right
I'd say definitely I've seen some in the top 15, like 10, 11, whatever.
Interesting.
But as far as what I did, number one.
And what makes you number one?
In
What
that
you
in that
did?
slot position there and all that,
Oh,
that's
so
why
slot.
that slot game, everybody in the slot, the Welkers and
Interesting.
all those guys, they got that from me.
Interesting.
So that's, I mean, that as
that-
far as
that's
my
respect.
opinion goes, that's the way I impacted the game is that position. And way guys got to defend that.
Interesting.
So
And I wasn't expecting that either.
Me neither.
I wasn't expecting him to say that.
Because I still look at you as both. I still see an outside guy and a slot guy. That's why I was.
Wow, I didn't. So me, I didn't really know. See, I told you, and there's no disrespect, but you know me, bro. I just didn't follow football like that. But I just, like I said, I
That's
always
respect,
thought of
man.
you as an outside guy. You know what I mean? Never really knew.
it wasn't until '89 when, I mean, all that kind of stuff you're watching, that was all from slot in.
Yeah.
That's where all that's from.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always thought you and Chris Carter were very similar.
Chris had better hands than me.
Athletically, total
Hands.
opposites,
Yeah, that's
but
the
the
only
way
thing
you
Chris
work
got better than us
inside
is
and
hands.
outside.
Got hands, bro.
But that's got a lot to do with the
Face is
position.
ugly, his routes are ugly. Everything about him is ugly.
Well, there you go. You can have it.
Everything is ugly about him. Only thing he got better than me and Under Reed is his hands.
Well, that's
it.
got a lot to do with the position. That's like saying, well, yeah, that car's faster because they got better
Right,
tires.
but maybe
Well,
if he had some of our intangibles like speed and
Was it-
all that
y'all
stuff,
the
maybe he'd have
same.
more touchdowns than we
y'all,
did.
y'all
but-
the same.
No, we're not.
Y'all the same.
No, we are not better
What
than that chunk.
Chris was four,
that on.
he waited 3 years or 4.
How many years did he wait?
How many did him
Because
and
we were
Tim,
the same time, so he waited 7,
7 and Tim Brown waited 6?
6.
Interesting.
And I was, not to brag, but I was top. I was 3 all-time in catches.
I know.
5 in touchdowns, and number 7
And that's
in
before
yards.
they even threw the ball. So
Right,
trust me,
all
I already
that
get
should be
the
taken
numbers.
in consideration.
Didn't even throw the
what
ball.
I thought. That's what I'm telling you. That's how I felt.
I just want to get your opinion on that, buddy.
Well, yeah, I don't, you know,
wanna
I think
have a
I
Hall
just
of Fame
revolutionized that position.
that slot position, huh?
talk. That's awesome.
And it's so crazy. You don't even really get a lot of credit for it either. Because
No.
everybody be talking about Edelman and Welker and all those guys.
Well, you're not going to get a conversation from anybody who just watched Edelman, but if they watched 30, 40 years of football, then you're going to get people. The
Right,
people
but
who
they're-
know.
Right, but there are people that are commentating,
They don't know.
commentating
They don't know.
on this game that are supposed to be experts that use
not
them
an
as,
expert.
as an example.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be watching, be like, maybe they'll say my name.
Right, which discredits them.
The good ones do.
You're right.
No, those
You're right.
no,
what I'm saying?
what-
The
which
good
ones?
ones
There,
do.
I haven't heard anybody
Well, you
say
don't
that.
watch football. That's what we just said. We don't watch ball. So, but the good ones do. The good ones have the right reference. But you do have to take into consideration people played in the 40s and 50s like you played. I mean, I'm sorry.
See how you.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, you see how
Andre
he tried to
Reed,
get
Hall of
We just
Famer. I had
watched
to
your
get
we
that.
just watched your highlights, and they had bonus footage.
That's
and
right.
And guess what?
It was in a loop.
The bonus
Your
footage.
bonus footage was in a loop.
I'm gonna say this on the podcast. The bonus footage was the same highlights from before. There wasn't no bonus. It was the same highlights.
Right, like I said,
bonus.
it was in a loop.
It's a bonus to the people who are watching, the people who love me. That's all that matters. Get your Popcorn Ready podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dre. Appreciate you.
Love you guys, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me on, man.
Yeet.